Hello, this is ELB, and welcome to my Gamedev stream. When we last left off, I started picking up objects. Um, I also was curious, so I went back and changed something between streams. And what I did was I made these solid by making the OBJ parent pickup a child to the OBJ block. So, because of that, I can't pass through these, and I had predicted that that would mean that when I then lifted it above my head, I would be unable to move past it, and I am correct. I am trying my best to move upwards, but it's not working. I can, however, put this one down, I think. Oh, no, I thought I was... Oh, wait. Okay, well, now I'm really screwed. Oh! Alright, so that's where we're at right now. So we have a new problem because of this, obviously. I am unable to move past it, so what are we going to do? We're going to change the way this all works. Instead, we're going to have solid that's not what I wanted. Create group. Held. Dropped. And thrown. So, in most games, when you pick up an object, you can either choose to, drop it, throw it, and that's pretty much it, right? So, in the solid ones, that's going to be the stuff that's actually on the ground, stuff that we actually want to pick up. And of course, held is when it's held aloft. Alright, and of course, when it's dropped, that's simply the object, how do you put it? That's when the object is, well, it's simply figuring out where on the grid it's going to go, because it needs to reconform to the grid, but it can't just go anywhere, right? So, ideally, I think it's going to bounce around a little bit before it finds a spot that it can rest in, and if there's not one close enough, then it's simply not going to be able to be put down. Either that, or it'll fall and just destroy itself. I don't know. If it can be destroyed, that is. So, yeah, well, let's figure this out. And do that. Oh, here I want to move this. Oh, nope, solid. Alright, also give me a moment. I'm not sure what I'm listening to. And I'm not a huge fan of it. Alright. Oh, come on. Okay. Let's turn object 8 here into OBJ parent pickup held. Okay, so trying to figure out how to do this. Okay, so instead of doing this, what we're instead going to do is if, hold on, we need to figure out what type of object it currently is, because we know that the parent one is the parent, but the child, which will be going off the parent's code, well, we need to determine which one that is. So, instance properties, maybe? So this read-only variable returns the index of the object that the instance has been created from. This is not the same as the object name, which is a string which can be found in object_getName, as this function returns the index number, which is a unique number that GameMaker Studio assigns to every object at the time of creation. So it says it's for the object, not for the instance, so I think this will work. So if object index equals obj pick up solid rock, then, so like I said, I'm not totally sure if this will work. It might see those as two different numbers entirely, but I'm willing to give this a shot just to see if it'll actually do what I want it to. Then instance change obj pick up held rock. Perform events true. Alright, so that's not a thing yet, so let's make it a thing. Obj pick up held rock. Sprite is this. I'm gonna change this real quick. We can have draw self, and that should be just fine. Alright. Actually, if that's the case, then why do I even bother with the draw event? Delete for now. I just noticed that the album cover for this, well, for this album that I'm listening to, it's all drawn in MS Paint, but the chair at this table doesn't have a back to it. Like, it has the frame of a back, but it doesn't have anything like actually holding you and really keeping you from falling backwards. I mean, you're not going to fall backwards if you lean back, but here, hold on, let me show you what I mean. See? Just that. By the way, this album is by Pilot Red Sun Achievement. If you like music that's kind of trippy, has no lyrics, a little like really electronic, I suggest it. I quite like it. I've listened to it like well, quite a lot at this point. Pilot Red Sun makes really weird videos to begin with that are just all animated in MS Paint, and sometimes they can be really creepy, but yeah, I really like them. Anyhow, so let's continue this. So now every step x equals obj, or no. Yeah, no, if it's picked up, it's no matter what gonna be above the player. Y equals obj figure dot y minus 16. Okay. Then we need to draw this. Draw sprite image index, and then subimage image number, and then x equals and let's round this. Now you might be wondering why I am still going off the obj test figure, even though we just made it so that every step the x and y coordinates will be the same as the obj test figure. And the reason for that is because we don't inherently know right at the start what order they're going to be doing their code in. So it's just a bit safer to make sure that in the draw event, after all the movement will have no matter what been done, to have it draw exactly where it's supposed to be. So you might then be wondering, why am I even bothering to move it then? Reason for that is it just makes it a little bit easier on me to know where it's going to be when it's either thrown or something along those lines. Okay. So that's all we need for now. I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to make it so that the A button doesn't actually do anything when you're holding something. If pickup ID equals or does not equal no, or no, if it does equal no one. Create control pickup or obj test figure dot pickup ID equals ID. Okay. That's just to be safe. Oh, what did I do? Oh. I was not thinking there at all. Okay. There we go. Let's try this one more time. I always say that, and it's never just going to be one more time. So, can't pass through them. That's exactly what we want. Can I pick it up? Oh, what happened? Okay, so here. For some reason, I only just skim them if it's still in that thing. Okay, so obj test figure step event 119. What is it, 119? Okay. Let's see what happens now. Oh. Well. Copy, abort. 121. That's not what I expected at all. Okay, so it looks like it did become OBJ pickup held rock, but it didn't do anything that it was supposed to, which is a problem. Oh, that's why. Didn't have the correct parent. This sort of development by trial and error, I'm curious if it's just me doing everything wrong, or if that's much more common than I realize. Oh, well, that happened. It vanished. So what happened? This should be correct. Image index and image number. Will you hurry up? Seriously? Come on. This isn't difficult. Okay. Are you functioning at all? No? Okay. I'm gonna take a moment to take a drink then. And I finished my drink. It's exciting, isn't it? Okay, well, while that's doing that, let's do this. So I'm gonna be changing two basic things. I'm gonna be removing these. I'm gonna be moving these. Probably could have just done this from the get-go. Oh well. And instead, I'm gonna be doing right hand special, left hand special. So what this means is while playing, if you hold down this button, being the right bumper, it'll give you access to special moves with your right hand attack. And those would be mapped to the face buttons. Same with the left hand special, they'd still be mapped to these face buttons. Right, let's get you up here. And as I think I've stated before, this way of doing it is shamelessly stolen from Dragon's Dogma. Bless that game's soul, it was fun until you tried to play it a second time. Image index, come on. Okay. Here we go. Current subimage being shown with the sprite, instant sprite. Okay, what about image number? Alright, well, I totally messed that up. So I wanted image index. Did I want sprite index then? I probably did want sprite index. Yep, okay, so that was my problem. Remembering variables can be rather annoying sometimes. Anyhow, let's see if this works. Well, we know that we're holding it. It's just not in the right place, so that is very fixable. Forgot to do the minus 16, and let's do that again. There we go. Exactly as it's supposed to work. Although I would say that it should probably not go through the rock, or go through the blocks, but whatever. That's just fine for now. Alright. Here in a few hours, well, not in a few hours, more like in an hour, I need to get some clothes on and prepare to go out and buy supplies for D&D. Need to get a binder and some other stuff so that I can properly keep my character stuff ready rather than having it just to be on these loose sheets of paper that get fucked up all the time. Okay. Alright. So now that we've done that, real quick, I'm gonna do -1 just for fun, so that it'll be above the thing. I wonder if I could make it so that you are unable to move as fast while holding the rock. I mean, I know I could, just how would I go about that? Didn't do it in the mud. So where did I do it? So I'm looking at the way that I have everything organized, and the way I might change this is I will have the actual movement and input stuff done at the very end, and then have modifiers happen before that. So say instead of having this be just put straight to 0.5, instead at the start of every step the player speed modifier would be set to 1, and different things could remove some from it. It would never go below 0, obviously, and I think there would be a minimum that it could be like 0.1 or maybe even 0.05, which would be insanely slow. But then I could step through mud, and I'd be put to half speed, but if I'm carrying a rock, which would minus like 0.2 from my speed, then I'd be down to 0.3 modifier. So I'd be moving even slower, right? And I don't think that's a bad idea. I'm going to not do that just yet, and instead I'm going to keep on working on how these rocks work. So I would like for either of the attack buttons to throw the rock, so right trigger or left trigger, and I would like the A button to put it down. So A button for drop, triggers for throw. So let's start with drop. OBJ, parent, pickup, dropped. There we go. Still the rock. Oh, Let's make the parent the right one. Alright. So the sole goal of the OBJ pickup rock, dropped rock, is to figure out where it can go that will then align to the grid. If it can then not align to the grid, then it must either destroy itself or go back to being held. Ideally, I think that the A button, that when the A button is pressed, it would then determine where that specific point is. Meaning it can check to see if there's even a spot for it to be put down, and if there's not, then it's, well, not going to try to put it down. So let's start with this. Pickup ID equals no one. Else. Now we just gotta find a spot where there is nothing in the way. So, the problem that we come to right now is that the player is not going to be aligned to the grid. Like, pretty much guaranteed they're not going to be aligned to the grid. You know, not just the pixel grid, but the 16 by 16 grid. So, we gotta figure out what spots they're taking up and either move the player or just choose not to put it where the player is partially standing. So, hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, sneezed, blew my nose, sneezed again. I think I'm good. I might not be. No, I'm gonna sneeze again. Ah, jeez. I would like to get back to work, body. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Blah. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. We figure out the closest alignment to the 16 by 16 grid that the player is on. We then figure out the spaces that the player is looking at, roughly roughly 3 of them, and figure out if any of them are open. We do the closest one to the one the player is looking at from grid alignment. I need to blow my nose again. Ah, that was gross. Okay, so that is the idea that I'm thinking. Okay. So how do we get started with this? We will do the thing. We will figure out where the player is on the grid, or the closest one that the player is aligned to on the grid. And if the player can put it down, they will be aligned to the grid forcefully, which should be fine. Okay, we'll do var player grid alignment equals alignment x equals x divided by 16 floored, then times 16. So what that's doing is it's dividing the x, well, obviously it's dividing the x by 16, but more specifically, it's, let me give you an example. So let's say that x is 35, and we're dividing that by 16. Now, 16 times 2 is 34, I believe. So we're doing 35 divided by 16 equals 2.1875. Okay, but then we're flooring it. Which means we get 2 instead. And so 2 times 16 equals 34, meaning that is roughly, or that's not roughly, that's exactly aligned to the grid. So we're going from the assumption that that is where the player is, and that's where the player will be moved to when they put down the thing, to ensure that it's aligned to the grid. So we're going to do the same thing with y. Okay. Now we need to determine what direction the player is looking so we can figure out what spots that the player might put down the rock. So there is one thing though that I'm kind of wondering whether or not the player should be allowed to pick up rocks at a diagonal, or pick up anything at a diagonal for that matter. I mean, it makes sense when there's not anything in the way, but if there is something in the way, then... You know what? Diagonal's fine. We're just gonna say it's fine for now. So, we need to figure out the angle and figure out whether those empty spaces are available. Okay. Sorry, just thinking about this. So we are checking from the aligned position. Let's do that. Um, no, what was it? Point... Length. Length directs. Um... I'm going to do it +8 since it's going to be from the center of where they would ideally be standing. And we're going to do a length of 16 to get to the center of the next one. No, that's not right at all. Length is 16. There we go. Direction is player, aim, direction. I think it was, not angle. Player dodge direction. Can never remember which one it is. Whatever. I'm pretty sure I have it right. Well, mm, I don't want to go the easy way out, but it would be easier to only check one spot rather than having to do another for loop and figure that out. So what do I do? I don't know why I put roughly. We're just gonna do this for now. Okay. Okay. Okay, then we're gonna do var grid check x equals the same thing, except for instead of x, it's gonna be var grid center check x. So we're aligning back to the grid. And going from the center. Okay. Okay. So then, now that we finally have these, we're going to do place meeting var grid check x, var grid check y, obj block. So we then say pick up ID equals no one what else? X equals var player grid alignment X. Oh, hello. Y equals var player grid alignment Y. And with no, I shouldn't have pickup ID get set to no one just yet. Instead, I will do pickup ID dot drop location X equals var grid check X and pickup ID dot drop location Y equals, oh, hello, I missed a P, var grid check Y. Okay. Okay. So I already forgot what that variable was. Drop location x. Okay, so drop location x equals 0, drop location x, y equals 0. And then if obj test figure dot what was it? Pickup ID. Here, I should just do this. This makes it easier. Does not equal ID. X equals drop location X, Y equals drop location Y, instance change obj parent dropped rock. True. Actually, this might not even be necessary. Or if object ID, no, if object index equals J rock, then instance change obj solid rock. No, it was pick up solid rock. True. So the dropped version probably isn't even necessary. So let's see if this works. So it does work, which is a good thing. But it feels really finicky. Like, I would not suspect that when facing like this, that it would go right there. And that just happened. Okay, cool. I guess it does what I sort of did what I wanted it to do. Well, Have fun. Looks like I've been streaming for roughly 50 minutes now. Um, oh man. What if instead of flooring it, we rounded it? That might give us a bit better of an outcome. Well, that did that. Okay. I really need a restart button. What? What? Okay. Key press. R. Control. Where is it? There should be. That's. I don't want to restart the. Restart room. There we go. I don't know why that's so funny. It's just, like, unexpected. Okay, well... Alright, so I'm done streaming for now. I might do a little bit more in a bit, but I don't know. I have no viewers right now, that's just fine. To anyone watching after the fact, I thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful time.